You've always been told you're different, sharp, analytical, the one who gets it. And maybe that's true. You see patterns others miss. You process fast. You absorb faster. But somewhere between brilliance and paralysis, something went wrong. You confuse motion with progress and complexity with control. You think your intelligence protects you, but it's become your prison. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're overthinking yourself out of your own potential. You've built walls out of logic and locked yourself inside them. Every new idea becomes another room in your cage. You analyze everything, except your own inaction. You've become a master of potential energy and a stranger to kinetic motion. You tell yourself you're preparing. You call it research. You label it strategy, but you know what it really is. Hiding. Because starting means risking, and risking means exposing the truth. That maybe for all your brilliance, you're still scared. You've been thinking about that project for years. The book, the business, the change. And every day you add one more brilliant reason not to begin. You study every angle. You simulate every outcome. You know exactly how it could fail. And that knowledge has killed more dreams than failure ever could. Normal people just start. They pick something, move, adjust. They don't need perfect data. They need momentum. You, on the other hand, need the stars to align before you take the first step. You think your intelligence is an advantage, but it's an anchor. Your brain runs simulations in the background like open tabs, burning energy, draining focus, never closing, never ending. You don't move because you've mistaken thought for progress. You call it productivity. It feels like work, but it's not. It's avoidance wearing the mask of effort. It's revving the engine in neutral and convincing yourself the noise is movement. The truth? Overthinking isn't intelligence. It's fear with a degree. You don't trust simplicity anymore because complexity feels safer. It gives you something to do, a reason not to act. And deep down, you know that's exactly why you're stuck. You love the idea of perfect. Perfect timing, perfect execution, perfect version of you. But perfect is just procrastination dressed in nice clothes. You tell yourself you're refining the plan, polishing, improving, perfecting. But you're not. You're postponing your own growth under the illusion of quality control. You've spent months making something almost ready. The book that's 90% done. The business that's nearly there. The dream you'll start when it feels right. But right never comes. Because perfect isn't a standard. It's a cage. Perfection is the most expensive addiction in the world. It costs time. It costs peace. It costs opportunity. And unlike failure, you get nothing in return. While you polish, others publish. While you plan, others execute. While you wait to feel ready, they build while still afraid. The perfectionist never learns that done is divine. That rough, raw, imperfect action outperforms flawless imagination every single time. You're not chasing excellence. You're avoiding exposure. Because if your work has flaws, maybe you do too. And that's the fear you can't admit. That smart might not be enough. You grew up being told your intelligence was everything. Gifted programs, advanced classes. Everyone said you'd go far. But intelligence only predicts 23% of success. The rest has nothing to do with IQ, and everything to do with what school never taught you. You can solve problems, but you can't lead people. You can think critically, but not emotionally. You know logic, but not connection. The world doesn't reward the smartest. It rewards the most adaptable. And you were trained to analyze, not to adjust. EQ beats IQ because life isn't a test. It's a negotiation. It's not about knowing the answer. It's about managing yourself while searching for it. You think intelligence makes you powerful, but raw intellect without emotional depth turns you into a machine that can't connect. And people don't follow machines. They follow presence. They follow calm. They follow energy. The less intelligent man who acts with conviction will always outperform the brilliant man who hesitates, because conviction moves people, and people move the world. Here's the cold math. Performance equals talent times effort squared. Effort counts twice. That means average talent with relentless consistency beats rare genius that can't show up twice in a row. You know more than most, but you do less than many. You're trapped in the illusion of potential, and potential is worthless when it never becomes performance. School taught you that talent was enough, that knowing made you superior. But life doesn't care how smart you are. It only cares how consistent you can be when you're bored, uncertain, or afraid. You've read every book, watched every productivity video, and followed every guru, but still can't focus for 10 minutes without distraction. Because your intelligence became entertainment, not discipline. You're not missing opportunity. You're missing stamina. You want results without repetition. You want greatness without grind. But reality only bends to effort, not intellect, not ambition, not potential. Smart people lose because they never learned to crawl. They skipped to the theory of running and forgot to walk. And when life demands endurance, they collapse under their own expectations. Effort counts twice. Always has. Always will. You've been the smart one your entire life. It's not just a trait, it's an identity. And identities are hard to let go of. When something feels hard, you quit before the struggle defines you. Because if it's difficult, it threatens the idea of who you are. And that's unbearable, so you protect the image. You avoid challenge. You hide behind potential. It's safer to imagine yourself as capable of greatness than to prove yourself and find out you're not. You'd rather preserve the fantasy than face the possibility of failure. That's why you start so many things and finish so few. You think quitting protects your ego, but it's the slowest form of self-destruction. It keeps you comfortable, but it kills you quietly. Growth demands humiliation. Learning demands imperfection. And success demands that you look stupid first. That's the part the smart ones never accept. Your mind became your mirror, and you've spent years protecting the reflection. But mirrors don't move, they only stare back. You can solve complex equations, but you can't solve loneliness. You give brilliant advice you never follow. You write perfect plans that nobody joins. Because success isn't solitary, and you've been playing alone. You've spent years avoiding small talk, dismissing connection as shallow. But while you avoided the trivial, you missed the truth, that relationships are the real infrastructure of success. The loud ones who talk about sports or weekend plans, they're not wasting time. They're building trust. They're building access. They're building leverage. You were busy being right. They were busy being liked. And the world listens to those it likes, not just those who make sense. Your ideas are brilliant, but brilliance without connection echoes in an empty room. The irony? You can analyze human behavior perfectly, but still fail to connect as a human being. Because connection isn't logic, it's presence. And presence is built in silence, not in analysis. So here's your escape route. Not a theory, a test, 30 days. Pick one thing, not 3, not 5. 1. Do it badly. Do it daily. Do it without researching, optimizing, or overthinking. Your only goal is motion. You'll hate it. You'll feel stupid. You'll want to quit on day 3. That's your ego dying. Let it. Because once you act through resistance, your intelligence begins to serve you again. It stops being your warden and starts being your weapon. Forget what you know about productivity. Forget frameworks, hacks, or systems. Simplify until there's nothing left to hide behind. If it takes courage, it's probably the right move. If it feels beneath you, it's probably what you need. And if it scares you, good. That means it's real. You've spent years preparing to start. Now it's time to finish something. Even if it's imperfect, even if it's small, even if it hurts. Because this isn't about proving you're smart. It's about remembering that intelligence was never the point. The point was motion, discipline, impact. The world doesn't need more thinkers. It needs more finishers. And maybe, just maybe, you've been smart long enough. Now it's time to become unstoppable.